Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Magnetic Pole Shift Indicates End Time Cataclysm Accelerating. Now, it has been recently reported that the Earth's magnetic North Pole has accelerated its shift. The Earth's North Pole has been moving towards Siberia for a very long time, but this shift greatly accelerated between 1994 and 2000 to about 55 kilometers per year. It has now accelerated again, prompting the early update of the World Magnetic Model, which is used for location and tracking on the surface of the Earth. The Earth's magnetic North Pole is also shifting much faster than the South Pole, which only shifts at the rate of about 10 kilometers per year. And here you can see how the shift has accelerated. You can see where it was in 1831 and where it was in 1904. And that's 73 years. It hardly moved. And then in 1948 it moved to there. That's 44 years. So that's quite an increase. So it seems to have accelerated greatly between 1904 and 1948. And then 1962, it was there. 1973, 1984, 1994. That's 10-year difference. That's how much it moved. Then between 1994 and 2000, it moved between there and there. So that seems to be an acceleration. That was when there was a huge acceleration. So there was a huge one between 1904 and 1948, and that huge one between 1994 and 2000. Notice that's how much it moved in the previous 10 years, from there to there. And now it suddenly moved this distance in 6 years. That's a huge acceleration. And this is where it was in 2007, that's 2010, that's 2015. So it seems to have, well, it had been predicted to accelerate between 210 and 220. But it seems that even that acceleration prediction was not right. It accelerated even more than predicted. So it crossed the 180-degree longitude. That's the Greenwich meridian. And so it crossed over into the eastern hemisphere, from the western to the eastern hemisphere. And I think that happened, it happened in 2018. So the Earth's magnetic North Pole shift accelerated between 1994 and 2000, or after 1994, to about 55 kilometers per year, which is about 34 miles per year. It has now accelerated its shift once again, leading to an early update to the World Magnetic Model in order to keep position on the Earth's surface based on the position of the North Pole within acceptable uncertainty. The geomagnetic pole is where the North Pole would have been had it been in line with the Earth's magnetic South Pole. So here you see where the geomagnetic pole is. It's also shifting, but very, very much slower than the magnetic North Pole. Now, what would cause the North Pole to move in the first place? And secondly, what would cause it to accelerate its motion? Well, we know that by 1998, the sun had gone dark due to the Planet X system of dead planets and stars, which come into the solar system as comets. The objects most likely go to the sun as systems, each with at least one central star and its planets, all now as dead stellar cores, surrounded by their respective debris fields. And you may look at Article 512 entitled Planet X, Pieces of Dead Planets and Chemtrails for more details. The smaller objects would end up finding their way to the smaller objects in the solar system, which have living cores, such as the Earth, as their gravitational potential would not allow them to draw any material from the sun. And you may look at Article 518 entitled Planet X and Gravitational Tuning. The smaller objects would be ejected from the sun during CME events, which the larger objects would induce, and would then find their way to the Earth. The smaller objects, which would be planetary and moon cores, would also come in different sizes. The moon cores can be as small as 250 feet in diameter. You may look at Article 547 for more details on that. The ones of about the same size or larger than the Earth's core, which has a diameter of 2,440 kilometers, and that's about 1,500 miles in diameter, would be the most destructive, as they would induce volcanic eruptions. Now, this diagram illustrates what occurred to these planets. They were once living planets with a core, living core, layers of material that would have had a liquid layer of magma around the core. But when they lost the energy, that solidified and they became solid. And the gravitational energy, because it was gone, the gravitational influence of the object over its own matter was suddenly gone. So that caused this material that was under severe pressure to just explode outwards. So these outer layers broke into pieces. Thus, the fact that the Earth's magnetic field accelerated its shift between 1994 and 2000, which fits the time when the sun went permanently dark, which was by 1998, suggests that the shift in the Earth's magnetic field was associated with more of these objects, possibly a large system arriving at the sun between 1994 and 1998. And you may look at Article 535, the sun is no longer shining, what has happened to it? Thus, the magnetic pole shifts seem to be associated to the Planet X or destroyer system objects affecting the Earth. And its accelerated shift suggests that more of these objects have arrived and are now affecting Earth at an increased level. These objects are destructive and cause cataclysmic events which have been prophesied for the end time. One of the effects is volcanic eruptions, which we see is now reaching unprecedented levels, but they also cause severe weather, tidal surges, earthquakes, fissuring of the Earth's surface, and rogue waves. All these events have dramatically increased in frequency since 1994, and the accelerated shift suggests that the frequency and severity of these destructive effects will now reach an even greater level of destructive effects. And this illustrates what occurs, what actually causes a volcanic eruption. It's one of these objects within the Earth's atmosphere hovering over a volcano. It causes a matter creation event inside the Earth's core, and then magma is ejected outwards towards the object. And the object can then draw some of this material, attaches to it, and it's a new layer of material for it. It then absorbs the energy so that the core can increase its energy. And you may look at Articles 501, entitled Planet X Induced Volcanic Eruptions, or like an Earth CME, and Article 522, entitled Stellar Cores or Sources of Matter or White Holes. And here are the results, or some of these destructive effects. These are the fissures. This is a large fissure across the desert in Saudi Arabia. And this one appeared in November of 2018. You can see it looks like a small canyon, suggests how canyons actually formed. And here's another one. This one's in Mexico. It's from May of 2018. And you can see how large that is. And these ones are in Uganda, which the fissures opened up, just appear overnight and destroy these houses. And they also cause severe weather events like tornadoes and floods. And so they have the same source. What you actually have here is an object inside this cloud that's actually causing this tornado. This is a gravitational vortex. They are surrounded in cloud envelopes, and the water is actually debris water that once belonged to these planets. And then this vortex forms, and there's cyclonic circulation and high winds, very destructive. And they also cause rain. and lots of rain. And increased rain is because there are more and more of them, and their debris fields entering the atmosphere. So these objects, which have been coming into the solar system for thousands of years, most likely caused the flood, but are now arriving in larger and larger numbers, and thus causing the prophesied end-time cataclysm. This cataclysm will not be as fast or as instantly destructive as the Great Flood event, but it will over time build up to the same type of extinction level, and there will be no end to it unless God intervenes. And you may look at Article 515 entitled Current Cataclysm Engulfing the Earth, started at the Great Flood, and Article 549 entitled Planet X Cataclysm Engulfing Earth, How Bad Can It Get? So in conclusion, the fact that the Earth's magnetic North Pole greatly accelerated its shift between 1994 and 2000, coinciding with the time period when the Sun appears to have gone permanently dark, suggests that this shift is associated to the Planet X system objects entering the solar system and affecting the Earth in several destructive ways. The fact that this shift has accelerated once again suggests that those destructive effects will also increase, indicating that we are now in the end of time. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.